You don't need a projector. You're already making me.
You want to pull the white thing
No. All right, so this assignment, I decided to only cover the assignment tonight. It'll be a somewhat shorter lecture. So I'm not going to cover a new chapter, so it means there won't be a quiz, we'll just do this assignment. Okay? All good on that? Okay. All right, I got to find it. Where did I put it? Right here. Ticker on? Okay. What we're going to be doing now is starting to play with Metasploit. Okay? This is the fun part everybody likes. So you'll actually be doing a couple different projects using this. This first project is literally step by step. I might tell you, type this. What's the output? Type this. What's the, I mean, you can't, you shouldn't screw this up. Okay, so you're going to be walking through the steps shown on the separate PDFs. Now, if you read somewhere that says don't submit something, you are submitting something. Reason is, a couple semesters ago, I didn't have students submitting things. Yeah, because this was kind of like a walkthrough. Do this to figure out how to do it, then do the next assignment where you actually have to do it. So I find out no one did it. Well, not no one, but quite a few people didn't do it. Because they go to do the second part and they can't get it to work. I'm like, okay, it's the exact same commands at part one. Literally the same command. Why did I do part one? It wasn't required. I'm like, oh, God, kidding me. So now you got to do part one. Okay. All right. So I'll be submitting a few items. They're listed at the end. I'll show you what those are here in a second. For part one, use your Kali machine along with the machine you're going to download. You're going to be running two machines to do this. You're going to be running a Kali image and an image of Server 2003. Okay? It's going to make your machine very slow. So just, unless you got a lot of RAM. If you got a lot of RAM, you're good. Yeah.
Do you have to run Server 2003? I'm going to have 2016.
Oh, no, you need to be running this one. Exactly. I'm giving you 2003. Okay. I give you an actual image already made. You literally just run my image. Plus, it won't work the same way.
Yeah. This isn't going to work because we've got other one running also. Plus, we got John running.
Why do you need John running? Well, you can run Kali in
Audit's going to redo, and then we're doing the.
No. What's that say? Suck it up, buttercup? I don't know.
Well, there's suck it up, and there's like my computer on fire.
This is a very simple assignment. You can walk through this entire thing slowly in about an hour.
Okay.
So you can do it here in the lab. Okay. Really, I mean, I give you I literally say, type this. Type this, okay? And I'm going to show you.
It may take up our computer, but only one day. So we
Right.
can go back.
Literally an hour. There's 5 parts, but literally the parts, it's like, 3 steps for part 1, 2 steps for part 2. Yeah. I walk through it, and I'll show you. Okay. So for part 1, you can be using your Kali machine along with a CEA, stands for Certified Ethical Hacker Victim machine that I am providing to you. The IP should be this. Okay. Now you're going to have a problem. I am 99% sure the IP address of your Kali machine is not in the 10 range. It's probably in the 192 range. They wouldn't know. So you need to change your IP address to be in this range. So if this machine is 10.10.250.250, what could you pick for yours? 249 or 251, perfect. And I can show you how to change it. I'm not going to give you the exact steps how to change it, so you can't screw that up. You hopefully can't. Okay. Then upload proof that you did it. And I have not put the Dropbox up there yet. I will. But upload proof, and I'm going to show you what the proof is. It's just some screenshots. Then on part 2, you're going to be doing something similar, but it's not the same exact stuff. It's a different machine. So it's basically the same. Okay, so far so good? You with me? All right. I'm going to walk through the parts that you're going to be doing. Now you got to do these 5 parts. Okay. You're going to be using Metasploit. You can read all this stuff if you like. If you see a reference in any of these to backtrack, I mean Kali. Because backtrack was replaced by Kali. It's the same thing. So if you see a reference for backtrack, it's Kali. I think I changed most of them, but I might have missed a couple. Okay. Now, a couple semesters ago, if you were looking at an older video, I told students to use Armitage. Armitage is cool. It's a graphical version of this, but it's not as good. Okay. I mean, you're welcome to use it if you like. I don't care, but you can. You know, when I took a training class, actually I took multiple, and one of them we happened to use this tool. He did not use Armitage. I'm like, so why aren't you using Armitage? He says the graphical is so much slower. It is. It's really slow on the refresh and on updating stuff. And I'm giving you the commands to work on the command line. Just do the command line. It's easy. But if you want to play with Armitage, Armitage comes with Kali as well. It's kind of like Nmap and ZenMap. You got ZenMap, you know, but it's just easier because with Armitage, my commands won't work. You'll have to, you know, instead of, you'll have to right click on something, load, you know, some other menu to get it to do what you want rather than the commands I'm giving you. So if you use Armitage, don't complain to me you can't figure out the commands. Okay? Because it's not as clear cut. Okay. So I think, again, these commands were written for Metasploit 2. We're on 4. Most of them are identical. A couple of them differ slightly, and I put a few notes in there of some that are different. It's not hard to figure it out. I mean, you can always go on Google and say, Metasploit 4 command to do X, Y, Z. Okay. So basically bring up Kali, type Metasploit under the All Programs area, which I'm going to do in a second and show you. Click on the framework icon and it loads. With Metasploit 2, you have to do like 5 different things. So Metasploit 4 makes that part easier. Then we're going to do show exploits. What Metasploit does, it was made by H.D. Moore. H.D. Moore made it to find out vulnerabilities in systems, not to exploit them, to see if they've been fixed. For instance, if Microsoft comes out with a patch on Tuesday, so now we know what the problem is, because the whole world knows what the problem is. So he wrote a program that can exploit that patch to see if you fixed it. So that way he can very quickly say, hey, Don, did you update your machine? No, you didn't. The problem is people can use it to exploit machines. So that's what they're doing, okay? Now the machine I'm giving you is, oh my God, exploitable. It is like got every hole known to man. Yes, pretty much. The door's open and they're waving you to come on in. So, all right, so we're gonna look at exploits. So the commands, again, are very similar. You might have to change a little bit, but it's not much. But what you're gonna do here is you're gonna connect utilizing this specific exploit right here. So I can tell you, use Windows, I mean, you literally type that exact command right there. Exactly. If it doesn't work, you type it wrong. Okay? Then it's going to do show targets. Okay? And then you can connect in, and you can see we're connected to Windows 2003. Then we can show the payloads. What an exploit is you know, vulnerability, and a payload is what can you do with that vulnerability. Okay? So I found out you did not patch SNMP, or you did not patch Internet Explorer. Okay, that's the exploit. And then with that exploit, what can I do? Because you didn't patch Internet Explorer, now I can get into this flaw and do it whatever. That's the payloads. Okay? So you can do show payloads. You see a big old list of payloads. In this case, you can do key logging, all kinds of, I mean, you can capture the webcam, you can do everything. So it's very cool. Then you can set your payload. In this case, we're going to do reverse TCP, which means it's going to make a connection backwards. Because you're going to be, it's kind of like you're inside their system. When you see it, you'll be like, oh, that is just too cool. All right, and then you can do show options. When you get to this section here, watch the IP addresses, because you're going to need that here in a second. I think I tell you, right here. Set the IP address. You are the L host, the local host, and the R host is the one you're breaking into. It literally explains all this in the document, so just read it carefully. But I recommend you do read through the document and then go do it. Okay? Okay. So there you go. You can put in the IP address. Again, I'm pretty sure it's 250, because I already set those for you. But whatever you set yours to, that'll be different. Like here, set L host. That'll be your IP address, whatever you happen to set yours to. You know, 251 or 249 or whatever. Okay? Then you say exploit, And if you get to this part, if you get to step 20 and you type in exploit and it doesn't do nothing or gives you an error, you did something wrong. The biggest problem people have is setting this stuff right here. Set L host and set R host. If you don't set the IPs correctly, it can't connect. Okay? So set the IPs correctly and you should be fine. Then when you exploit it, it basically should say interpreter. Then in there you can type help and see all the stuff you can do. It'll literally list. You can take a screenshot, you can capture the webcam, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this. Okay? In this case, you can type grid to find out. It'll tell you, hey, you are running server NG server. Obviously, if you're on a Kali machine and it says that, you know you're into the other machine. PS, you can see the processes that are running. PWE, the working directory. And then you can execute a command. Now, I put a note here. This command is slightly different on Metasploit 4. It's very close, but slightly different. But with that, you can get into the machine and do stuff. You can do who am I to find out who you are. So what you're going to submit for this whole section is 3 screenshots, just 3. They should look identical to this. The IPs might be different. But in this one, we're connected in, and I exploited it, and it says, I just want to see the exploit worked. If it didn't work, it would be red. It would come in there and be like, couldn't connect. So that's the first one. For the second one, you can type PS. You're going to give me a list of processes running. And the third one, you can type who am I, and it should say NT server. That's all you guys do. Pretty simple. Okay. Now, I realize there's a way to take the system and get this without doing it. But you're going to have to do it on the next one. Okay, so make sure you get it done. So step 1, very simple. Just follow the steps. I highly recommend at the end of step 1, don't turn the machine off. Go right into step 2. Because if you disconnect, like if you close out Metasploit, well, for part 2, you got to do all that same stuff to connect to it. You know what I mean? The whole thing all the way up to the exploit. You got to do all that all over again to get into the system to do part 2. And then you got to do it all again to get to part 3. So if you do part 1, then just do 2, 3, 4, 5 real quick. Then one right after the other. Okay? With me? Okay. So there's part 1. Here's part 2. So you should have left off, and you know, if you had, it depends. If you're at the Windows prompt, just type exit. If you're at the interpreter prompt, type hash dump. Whichever prompt you're at, I don't know. Depends where you left off. Okay. If you type hash dump, what this will do, it will dump the hash files of all the users on the system. We know what hash files are. We can break those using John the Ripper or whatever. Okay. All right, and that's all you got to do for this one. Oh, see, there's the word backtrack. So if you backtrack, just pretend it's Kali. Okay. You don't necessarily have to save it, but if you want to save it, that's fine. Actually, you're going to have to save it. The easiest way to get the hashes out of there, you highlight them with your mouse, you know, and then right-click copy and paste them to a text file. Like use LeafPad or something and Kali, paste them in and save them as a text file. That's the easiest way to do it. I don't know if I told you that, but that's how you do it. Okay? Now, I don't care if you save it in your temp drive and save wherever you want. So part 2, very short. Part 3, you're going to crack those. I give you a copy of Kane. You can also use John the Ripper. You can use anything to do. They're real basic words. John the Ripper, you provide this hash file, it will get most of them immediately without any special rules. They're real basic words like, you know, Abraham Lincoln or something like that. You know, it's pretty like Washington president. That's what they are. So pretty simple. So break the passwords. If you've never played with Kane, play with Kane. It's kind of cool. It's a really nice tool. I'll tell you exactly how to do it here. So crack the passwords and then submit those as submit the usernames and passwords to the Dropbox. That's all you got to do for this one. Okay? Easy enough there. You can actually do that one last if you want. You can save that section, part 3, till after you're done with Metasploit. Because once you got the hashes copied out, you can really break them later. Part 4, now you're back in again. You can type PS, which we've actually done on the first one. locate the Win logon, and then just follow the steps here. You're going to walk through this. You're going to be doing keyboard logging. You're going to start keyboard logging right there. Then you're going to have to log into the other machine. What you're going to do is from your Kali machine, you're going to run key scan start, which is start keyboard logging. Then go into your Windows machine and log in or whatever, do something to it. You can actually attempt to log in and even capture that. And then just provide proof you did that. Because when you go back into your Kali machine, when you do key scan dump right here, it will literally look just like that. It'll be control, whatever, it'll be a tab, it'll be a spec, whatever was typed on that screen, just give me proof you did it. I don't care what you did, just some sort of proof. Okay. That one's really short. Then number 5, you can take a screenshot. Again, you're in there again. This time you're going to have to change your exploits to your show exploits and use this one. Set your payload to that one. So you're changing that one up just a little bit. Again, use the same IPs you had. Exploit. And then you can go down here and you can do screenshot. And it will literally give you a screenshot. It will save it in your root directory on your Kali machine. You get a screenshot of what's on their screen. So what you can do is just move the mouse or something and it'll show the login prompt or something on the other screen. So it's very simple to do. Y'all understand these 5 things you got to do? It's not much to do. It's not. Only 5 pages. You can do all that in an hour. I mean, come on, what's that? 3 commands right there? I remember, because you're already connected, so you didn't have to reconnect. But I'm going to show you this. For you, it might take a week. Okay, I got Kali up right here, and I'm not breaking into a machine. I'm just going to show you how to get Metasploit running, so no one has a problem. Okay, if you click on this All Programs button down here on the bottom left, if you type Metasploit, right there, click on that, and wait. There it goes. It's going to create the Metasploit users, the Metasploit database. It's going to set up the entire environment for you. Next time when you start, it won't have to do all this beginning stuff again because the databases are there. Because it's literally installing it and everything right now.
So how does it already have the exploits on it? Like Metasploit itself?
Because it was installed with it.
So there's those on that.
If you need to, you can run the update command. I don't think you'll have to, though. I think
I was
this
just
one
wondering
can
how
do
they
it.
just do it.
Yeah, well, when they installed it, it came with a bunch of exploits. Now, the new exploits are not on there, but the ones we're using, it's like this says down here at the bottom, this has 1703 exploits with 503 payloads. So we got 17 loaded. Obviously, if you're trying to break into an exploit came out yesterday, it's not there. Okay? So that's Metasploit, pretty simple to use, and when you're done, just type quit. Okay, and then exit. Okay. So I just showed you that. Now, when you run Metasploit, actually, every time you run it, it looks different. You get a different little ASCII picture there. But play it. It's really cool. Then the next assignment, you're going to be going to a different machine. I'm not going to give you the instructions. But they'll be very similar. Okay, they'll be very, very, very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah, very similar, just not exact. So now I'm going to show you one more thing. So is everybody's brain like, what the heck did he just say? That's why I want you to go through this first one. All right, now the part you're going to be very happy for. If you go into week 9, right here, week 9, I put all the assignments up there, but I also put the CEH victim machine. You see that right there? Downloads 1.7 gigs. Well, it's an entire server 2013 image. There's a Kane if you want to use it. Your virus scanner will most likely have a real hard time with Kane. You know what? It's not a virus, but it's called a privilege escalation tool because it breaks passwords. So disable your antivirus. It's not a virus. Pretty much. Here's the part you're going to like. Okay, the Cybersecurity Club last year, I walked through this entire exercise.
All right. Okay. Now
The first part, I even show you how to change your IP address to make it work. I literally walk through the entire assignment here.
I'm the host, so I can actually see. Now, what I was kind of sorry I didn't record the very beginning, but I really haven't done much yet.
Okay, and then I show you how to change it, how to set the IP
Developers-
address. Then you see
It was developed
Here it is.
automatically for us.
See, I'm even going to
So
connect.
go down the steps until you get to the point where it says MSF. So now Metasploit running. Every time you run it, it has a different little stupid ASCII art picture in there. So, you know, handles 1577 exploits. So 577
So
obviously.
there's show exploits.
And they're actually all
And this will load
organized,
them in
which
a
makes
second.
it very nice.
Come on.
Come on.
You do it.
Now, while it's doing this Metasploit Pro, there is a 30-day trial, which is very nice. It is all GUI now, but you can still put in the commands. But what's cool about it is you can actually go onto your network and you say, every Monday morning at 8 o'clock, I want to scan this entire network, find all the machines, look for all the exploits.
Okay, I'm not going to play the whole video, but I walk through doing it right here on the screen. So, I mean, there it is. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't do the key scan or the dump hash. I literally get into the machine, totally exploit it, so I'm sitting there in the machine. So that is 90% of the project. Watch this video, and you're good. Okay? Everybody happy with that? Sure. This was in the Cybersecurity Club. It's been up on YouTube forever. I did it last year. So, I was talking on there about Metasploit Pro. They do have a program for it now. Rapid7 bought them out. And with Metasploit Pro, like say you worked at Tinker, you could run Metasploit Pro and tell it every morning, scan every machine. And what it'll do is it'll download the latest exploits, and it will try to connect to all the machines on Tinker and exploit them. If it exploits them, it'll tell you, hey, this machine's got a problem. Kind of a cool thing. So it's, you know, and you can get a certification in it and everything. So it's very nice. Metasploit's free, but Metasploit Pro costs money. So yeah, I walk through that, and I think I actually even get in and show you more. Let's see. Yep, there it is. I'm actually in the machine now. Oh no, wait, not there. It is. Yep, there's the Who Am I. There's the Windows Server. So that's the first one you got to do. And I might do. Oh, there's the screenshot. Look, see, I got a screenshot of the screensaver right there. So I guess I did most of it. And there's the document settings directory. Obviously, I'm in the machine if I can see its directory. Okay. And then there's some of the commands you can do. You can reboot it. You can do, you know, shut it down. You can steal the tokens from it. All kinds of different things. Okay. So everybody okay with that? Any questions on this? So I give you the instructions and I walk through it in the video. I'm not going to walk through it all again, but you should have no problems. I'm giving you 1 week to do it. I found that if I give you longer than that, you're going to wait till the last minute anyway. So, and I want to do more with it. So do this one this week. We can do the other one the next week. And have fun. Okay? So you know what to submit for this one. It's 3 screenshots for the first one. It's a little bit, I think, for the next, it's not much. I would appreciate it, like it says in the document, if you just put it all in one document. It's called assignment 6, have your screenshots, have the next part, say, you know, 6-2 here, 6-3 here, 6-4 here. You know, some of you won't. Somebody will turn in about 85 files.
Yeah,
I don't know how y'all do that. I go into my Dropbox and think, how do I get 119 files? Kind of like in forensics, you know, and I tell you, don't submit them all separately.
Yeah, we're trying to make it just as
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. That's why it's not great. All right, that's all there is for this week then. Please don't wait till the last minute. If you've got any problems, let me know. But if you get an issue with the exploit turning red, when you try to exploit it doesn't work, check your IP addresses. What you need to do, I think I walked through it in the video, when you set your IP address to be in the same range, make sure you can ping it. In other words, if you set yours to 251, ping 250. Make sure you can see it. If you can't see it, it ain't going to work. Understand that? So make sure you can see it before you do this, or else you're lost. I can help you fix that again. But yeah, if you can't see it, you can't connect to it. And then it's gonna be like, no, it's not working. Well, could you ping it? I'm literally, people come to me, I said, what drive do you have? 192? Okay, the other one's checked. You gotta be in the same network. Set the one up and check. Dude, you missed the entire thing.
We're done.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna stop this recording. All right, where is the stop recording?